When Harry Met Sally, a photography podcast, would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional owners of the lands and waters in which we are recording this podcast on today. As people who work with artists seeking meaning and knowledge through storytelling, we recognise the first peoples of this nation have been doing so for over 60,000 years. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging across Australia. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
None of this is possible without the fantastic help we've had from
Collart. Thank you so much for the support on providing your pod suites. Nikon Australia, incredible ambassadors for the photography industry.
And Ted's Camera Store, also great ambassadors, have been around forever and are doing wonderful work. And A&L Artistic Framers, who have been framing photography and art for as many years as I can think. Thank you all so very much. Harry, we're back again.
Hi, Sally.
Can you believe we're up to the final episode?
I know, so exciting. What a great season it's been.
Exciting.
I am very excited for our guest today, someone that I work with at PSC, and I think it's going to be someone that we can talk to about a lot of different things from what we've spoken to most of our guests about.
And I'm really interested as well because I've known this person for quite a long time but don't really know you at all. So I'm looking forward to digging a bit deeper.
So welcome to the podcast, Nic Kocher.
Hello, happy to be here.
How are you, Nick?
Good. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much for taking the time to come in. I know how busy you are, so it's lovely to to sit in the pod with you and hear a little bit more about your photography journey. So not to have a spoiler session, but we're going to get really stuck into a bit of AI talk later. Nick and I work together, like I said, at PSC, and you are constantly tinkering on some kind of new technology or new kind of new form of what image making is about. So
You're that guy at PSC, aren't you?
I am. I have that reputation.
And walked in here today, in fact, with a portrait of you and I.
Amazing portrait of us in another dimension.
Yeah. So you'll be seeing that on our socials coming up as well.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So, Nick, let's talk about your career. Where did you start off in photography?
Well, I think I wanted to be an artist before I wanted to be a photographer. My mum was an art teacher, and I went to a lot of galleries as a kid. So I sort of got that idea that pictures could be super powerful and tell a story. I still go to the gallery now. I love going. I sort of see it as research. And I see these old paintings I saw as a kid and kind of like visiting old friends.
I love that.
Yeah. Was she a photographer or a painter, or did she just do lots of different sort of art and
now
sculpture?
She does sculpture.
Yeah. Oh, I just said sculpture. That's spooky. Okay.
She's a sort of practicing artist now. It's great. I'm really proud of her. She's doing really well. But yeah, she was a primary school art teacher when I was a kid, so I kind of had that growing up. High school, there was a dark room. I got into that, and nobody used it. I was the only one who used it. And I remember, none of the teachers knew how to use it either, so I sort of taught myself and spent many an hour in there. I remember taking a lot of photos of my goth friends and going to abandoned houses.
Oh, hang on, I'm just visioning that. Were you also a goth?
I was goth adjacent.
Oh.
Yeah, I was.
Did you do the eye makeup?
Goth adjacent, I love that.
Tell me you did the eye makeup.
Yeah, occasional eye makeup. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I've just got that vision right there.
Yeah,
so fantastic.
No.
So you're shooting the goths?
Yep, in abandoned houses, that sort of stuff. Did art in high school. So I was, back in the 80s, art in high school was pretty much all art history. So I love that, sort of the context of politics in art and community and sort of how art influenced the world. Loved all that stuff. Left high school, I did a diploma of art design at Box Hill TAFE, and that was a real immersion into the art world. Did a bit of photography, but mostly life drawing and drawing.
Okay.
So still do that, love that. Travelled after that, 3 years in Europe, and I think, when you travel, you're kind of seeing the world as fresh eyes and everything's new. Photography, I think a lot of photographers become photographers through travel because it's such a great medium for documenting that. So I was taking a lot of photos. I was working in a little town in Switzerland, as you do, in Davos, and there was a lot of Australians working there, so I took a lot of photos of my friends.
Yeah.
And there was a local paper, and I approached the paper, and I said, hey, I think you've got a story here with all these Australians. And they go, yeah, great. And they ran it. And I think it was that moment I thought, oh, yeah, this could...
So your images in the paper and...
seeing them in print. And I think that was, hey, this could be a career. I did a few more jobs for them. Came back to Australia, went to Photography Studies College. And while I was there, I got a job at the Herald Sun on a Saturday. And my job was gram operator, short for telegram. Yeah, that's how old I am.
Great. And, come on, Gramps.
Yeah, so...
Telegrams for those kiddies that are listening. No, a telegram operator.
Yeah, no, but...
That's fantastic.
I think it was just the room. Like, I had telegram room
Yes.
above the doorway in sort of this gold lettering. And but it was really full of these modern computers, right?
Yeah.
And my job, like with News Limited, they had a paper in every city. And my job was to send them photos from Melbourne. And it was usually, if there was a big story in Melbourne, I'd have to send those. But honestly, it was mostly footy and horse racing on a Saturday. And so I'd get a call every 5 minutes from, say, a picture editor, in Perth or something like that. And they'd say, I need the winner from race 8, Flemington. And then I'd have to find that photograph. And quite often the photographer was still there, quite often drunk, like seriously. And I'd have to call, this was before phones, so I'd have to call the press room at Flemington and say, I need the winner from race 8. And they'd tell me to fuck off. And then I'd say, no, I really need it. And I'm sending a driver, and I'd send a driver, and they'd pick up the film. Back then they shot film and then scan them.
Stop.
And then I'd call the picture editor or whatever, and I'd say I'd got them. And he said, why do it take so fucking long? It was a rough workplace, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I was really good at that job, and it was like super stressful.
Learn a bit about horse racing.
Yeah, return to scale, winner, and the photos.
And did you just
That
go
is a lot.
into did they put out a job notice, or how did you get that job? Did you go in and say you want?
Saw an ad in the paper. Yeah, and it was only Saturdays.
Yeah.
I ruled that
Applied
job on a
for
Saturday.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just the life of a newspaper was great.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like a lot of those people had started in the 50s, and they were all big drinkers and smokers. But it was that sort of newspaper culture.
Yeah. You can visualize it, like it seems cinematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I knew all those guys there, and then there was a job that came up at The Age. So I moved across to The Age, and that was full-time. So I was there for about 10 years.
It's a shooter.
Amazing.
Yeah. I started in the digital centre, which is Photoshop, making the images look good. And I like to think I got my 10,000 hours in Photoshop there. But after a couple of years, I moved to photography.
So just on that note, at the very beginning of when Photoshop had started and Illustrator and all of that, did you teach yourself, or was that something that you learnt at college?
It was really new.
Yeah.
So I did do it at college a little bit.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, within a few months I was...
Because the teachers wouldn't have
I knew
really
more
known.
than the teachers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you just got that actual drive to really know a lot about it.
Yeah, well, I was interested in it, so I'd sort of go extra.
And probably was the catalyst for you getting the job at The Age, was it? Because this kid knows all about Photoshop.
100%. Yeah. And look, it was early days, so not many people knew that stuff. And it was also who I knew. I mean, that's how people get most jobs, isn't it? So I knew the people from the Herald Sun and at The Age. But The Age was great. That was such a wonderful job. Again, that daily deadline, the buzz.
And imagine in those days it was like chockers. There would have been lots of photographers and lots of images coming through to the digital labs, and lots of people.
There was more than 20 full-timers, probably even more, 25 full-timers, and then a lot of casuals as well. So, it was big. I saw it go downhill over the decade I was there.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was like, I don't know if you remember the Gangland murders. Remember that? Like late 90s, early 2000s?
Oh, yeah. I live in Richmond.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Peak Gangland murders when I was there. So I don't know.
Wow.
I think we were all shooting it, but I did a lot of that stuff.
Wow.
And
wow. Like the guy who was shot at his kid's footy match, with the bullet through the...
Moran
and all
brothers.
of them.
I photographed them.
Oh, yeah.
Mick Gatto.
Love all that.
Yeah, so...
Underbelly.
Yes. I love photographing those people because they had swagger.
Yeah.
They were kind of like 1920s
Gangsters.
Like mafia. Yeah.
I did a lot of court jobs and that was like court, you kind of wait for hours and hours and hours and then you'd have 30 seconds to shoot. I really love that. It's kind of almost primal photography. It's like hunting or something.
Yeah, right.
I don't
Don't
know.
miss the moment.
Yeah, a lot of waiting and then action. And that was a lot of those gangland guys. And they were actually great. They'd like to be photographed. Yeah, they'd like to show off. So I'd get them to pose and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And so obviously that sort of, you were there for 10 years.
Yeah.
And so did that come to a natural end, or were you sort of then at a point where you're like, I want to move on?
I did a lot of stuff. So I was in the news section for a long time.
Yeah.
I moved to magazines and I did a lot of fashion and studio stuff.
Okay.
And I also moved to the video section for a while. They did a bit of video on the side. It wasn't huge, but I did a bit of that.
And was that them moving you around to keep you employed, or was that you wanting to constantly be in different places?
That was me, just always looking for something new. Yeah, challenge myself. I remember the fashion stuff I did quite a lot of, and I sort of combined it with Photoshop. I did a lot of like compositing of models on different backgrounds. It was quite unusual for newspaper at that time. But yeah, always interested in sort of learning something new, doing something extra. But yeah, after 10 years, they were kind of like offering packages and a lot of people were leaving and they were losing a lot of money, like the Fairfax. I don't know, it was kind of rough times and I just thought, time to do something else.
Yeah.
And what was that?
Well, I worked on movies for a while. I freelance, commercial photography. I worked on a movie for about 2 years. Mary and Max was a stop motion animation. My job was camera operator, and I'd get a brief like 2:00 p.m. New York winter, and I'd have to light it, and I'd spend a day just setting up lights. The cameras were on these sort of robot arms, and I'd program the camera movement, and then the animator would go in for like a week and then come out after a week and they'd have 10 seconds worth of footage.
Oh, my God.
But I was setting up every day. That was a great job. Good catering.
Yeah. Good catering.
Yeah.
Those stop animations just seem like the most dedicated you could possibly be with work.
Yeah.
Like the absolute detail you have to kind of
and
have.
just the patience.
Yeah.
The patience, I just couldn't cope.
Yeah, they're really characters, the animators. They're all eccentric.
Yeah.
And was that set up in a studio?
Yeah, it was in Paran. It was just a big warehouse. And it was quite unusual because quite often movies, it's really different parts. You might have production in one spot and then post-production somewhere else and props somewhere else. This was all in the one building. So I saw everything, the whole process. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it sounds like so far, like you're always have been challenged and wanting to do new things.
Yeah. What is that?
Always challenging yourself to
Yeah.
move forward and try something, the next thing that comes along.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think I'm quite curious and I like experimenting.
Yeah.
What I really like about, well, everything that you're saying, but I've talked over the years with photojournalists that have left newspapers and they often are a little bit lost about how to move forward in their career, whereas you just went, right, what's next? Which is such a beautiful attitude to have. It's like I'm just going to try this and I'm going to try that. And, and I often think, otherwise we'd all be accountants, wouldn't we, if we didn't want that challenge and trying new things. So it's really great to see how you stepped out of that into a whole other world of finding new areas to work in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that wedded to photography. I love it, but it's more about the ideas and the creativity, and I can use lots of different mediums. Yeah.
Thanks, Mum.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. She was a great influence.
Yeah.
So when did the teaching come on then?
Well, just being into technology, I was just naturally interested. And say at the age, I just fell into that role of teaching, like showing the older photographers how to do stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always enjoyed it. It's something that I started at RMIT, I did some time-lapse workshops. I did that sort of once a month for about a year.
Yeah.
Was that in the science section with Gail Spring? Or?
Media.
Oh, it was in media.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I just developed this whole workshop, and then that was the first time I ever did that, and that was really rewarding. And sort of start of the day, they didn't know anything. At the end of the day, they knew how to do time lapse.
Yeah.
And they got into it. I started teaching Photoshop at PSC. Just one night a week. I did that for quite a few years. And then,
and how were the kids? How were the students back then? Were they knowledgeable, or did they pick it up really quickly? Were they native to computers? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
What year are we talking?
We are talking to late 2000s.
Okay, so they certainly knew what was.
Well, they did and they didn't. There's a lot of. It's funny. Like a lot of people didn't even sort of know about how to use a computer. So we had those students for sure. But most did, I guess. Yeah,
Okay.
most by that stage, most people had realised that was the future of photography, and it was an important thing to learn. Yeah.
And teaching, do you enjoy that imparting of knowledge,
I do.
or do you get a bit frustrated?
No, I don't get frustrated. It's weird. I've got this little practice where I try and imagine how they see the world.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, you probably do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's quite hard to lose all your knowledge, but you kind of have to do that to teach well, I think. So I kind of do that, and then I imagine what they need to know to learn. And it's really rewarding. So at the start of the semester, they know nothing, and then they slowly start being creative and using the tools, and they just get it. And that's wonderful. Yeah. I also really enjoy writing curriculum. I've written quite a few courses, and it's sort of a process where I sort of think about the world of photography and image making sort of in the future, 5 to 10 years in the future. And I guess that's a bit of futurism or something, but I really try and write a course with that in mind.
Yeah. How do you do that?
Yeah, how lucky are they to have you? And, okay, how do you do that? That's that question, and then I'll ask you another question.
Because it's quite hard to, I'm quite new to teaching. So although I've run lots of workshops in the past and done lots of sort of like one-on-one sessions, I'm newer to teaching tertiary. So this is my 4th year teaching tertiary. And maybe I'm still like getting to grips with what it's like to stand up in front of a class and impart the knowledge and feel like, I've got my place there. But to sort of think like, what do they need to know in 5 years' time? Like, that's very forward thinking.
Yeah, well, it's imagination.
Yeah.
You just have to imagine what we've got now and extrapolating forward and research.
Yeah.
I sort of naturally research. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
Good.
Watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And I just I just imagine what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, there's a broader picture of mediums and how we consume media and phones and all that sort of stuff, and just imagining what works.
Have you ever gone back and read 1984?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it recently?
Yeah, really? And is that what we're living, you think?
No, but at the time, it was just like, oh, wow, like, this is crazy. Yeah. It's an interesting concept to sort of try to think ahead of actually what's happening and where you are. It's nice because so many people talk about just be here and now.
Yeah.
And mindfulness, and we talk about that. But I know I've sat on many boards with you throughout the years, and you just come in and you just blow my head off every time you open your mouth. You're kind of going, we're going to be doing this and I'm doing that and I've thought about this. It's just like, wow, like this guy's brain is...
Well, I'm not always right. I'm quite often wrong, but like you have to try.
Yes, but it's great, and that
maybe
energy
elements,
is so fantastic.
That are right. I could see where this was going, but I was wrong in this aspect.
What's an example of you not always being right?
Oh, NFTs, maybe?
Oh, yeah. I was going to say. I think even when I first started at PSC at the beginning of 22, you were talking about, well, I was as well because my husband's quite techie, and so he was like, you've got to get in on the NFTs. Yeah. You've got to get in on them, and then I
never
remember
understood
talking to you.
what it was.
Well,
so I'm glad I didn't waste any
in their
mind.
defence, they did solve a problem. Like if you're a digital artist, right, with... You're not printing, you're creating like little animations or something. Like, how do you sell that? It's like, what do you do? Do you sell a TV? It's impossible. A lot of digital artists have struggled with that. So NFT solved that problem. You actually made it unique and one of a kind, and it gave it value. So I don't know. I think they'll come back maybe, but not at the moment, that's for sure.
Because I remember I had a client ring me once and he wanted someone to illustrate some NFTs for him. And he was like talking a completely different language.
Yeah.
And I found an illustrator who was like you, right into it. And he goes, "This is my jam." And I went, "Great," but it was still a long way beyond me.
Yeah.
So did NFTs, we won't focus on this too much,
No,
but
please don't.
did NFTs fall off because of the rate AI increased?
No, I don't think so.
Or
I
is
think
it
there were a lot of scams.
Yeah,
it was really
yeah.
dodgy. So there was two NFT worlds. There was the one-off art world, which was okay. I think that was doing okay. But then there was kind of these collections that people made. I don't know if you remember the Bored Apes and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah, this is what we were doing. Yeah,
very scammy, and a lot of people would sell these things and then just cash out, and everyone would lose money. And I think that's what killed it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, crypto in general is pretty scammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just bad actors, people with, bad incentives, I think killed it. Yeah.
So I guess sort of like thinking back to starting education, starting to teach, and like this idea that you have of like looking to the future and envisioning the 5 years, the next 5 years, et cetera, et cetera. Could you have envisioned then what is happening in the world of AI technology now?
No, I mean, I was always into science fiction, so I knew about AI, and Star Trek has that voice in the ship that talks to you. But no, it was a bit of a surprise. I think everyone was kind of surprised. 2022, that sort of started.
It exploded it seemed out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But obviously there was a lot of prep that went into it, but it suddenly was there.
Yeah, it got really good really fast. And before that there was sort of machine learning, and I was quite into generative art. That's where you sort of create some code and then sort of generates art. There's a couple of really interesting people that sort of are into plants and the way plants grow, and they do a little bit of code and then they make art on that.
Wow.
But yeah, the generative AI stuff kind of exploded on the scene 2022.
Yeah. And so that's interesting to hear that you were even kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
Because I was definitely surprised by it.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit clueless, I'd say.
Well, I think it was useful pretty much from the get-go. It's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
But you could see the utility of it. Yeah.
Who was at the forefront of sort of building that, the AI, and getting it out there?
Company like ChatGPT was the first one. That was the real moment where we all go, wow, like this is something that's useful and interesting. But look, now I just want to scream at everyone saying, you've got to be onto this. You've got to be using it every day, because it actually reminds me of the digital revolution in the 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, Sally, you'd know, like, we lost a lot of photographers.
Yes.
Hundreds, if not thousands of people. They were probably, in their prime, probably in their 40s or 50s, and they were amazing, and they built these careers around film photography. And some of them had just never used computers before, and it was just too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we lost a lot of them. Not all of them. Some really tried. I remember... Oh, yeah. I remember at the age talking to, I think it was John Lamb or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just said, look, I need some JPEGs from that job. He goes, I don't know what a fucking JPEG is, and I'm not about to learn.
Yes.
So it was hard. It was really difficult.
It was very difficult. It was a huge education process for the photographers, but also for the clients as well, convincing them to be using it and not using the photographers that they wanted to use, who wanted to use film.
Yeah.
And it was a real total time of turmoil, but some stayed true and learnt and got really good assistance, and people younger than them that came in and worked with them, and others just went into the archives.
We lost them.
Yeah,
that's definitely true. Some stuck with it. I remember a lot of them really tried, and they were saying, it's just not as good as film. It looks crap, and but there was a lot to learn, like colour management. All that stuff was difficult. Yeah. But I think all that was a walk in the park compared to AI. AI is difficult to master. I think, in terms of the photography practice, I think we'll start noticing the benefits of it when we see colleagues being more productive. like Harriet, like just 1 week you might do 3 commercial jobs.
Yeah.
They all went flawlessly, big teams of people. You got all your files to clients within 24 hours. You had an exhibition opening, beautiful catalogue. You invited guests. That all went well. You did 3 podcasts and you did your tax, right? People are going, no way. And you're all chilled and not stressed. People will be going, that's impossible. There's no way. But you're like, oh, well, I had some help.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is what AI can do.
Yeah.
Beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a good way to put it too is imagine having a team of people like just working for you, like an art director, a creative director, a set designer, an accountant, a bookkeeper, a therapist, a life coach, a marketing manager. Like, that's kind of what you've got with AI. Yeah. And they're all working for you and they're all dedicated to you and they've all got high IQs and they've got an amazing work ethic. Imagine how productive you would be with that team of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 months ago, I would have thought like, maybe AI can do most of that, all right, but the people would still be kind of better. Like now, it's moving so fast, I think we're actually there. You could probably have that team of people working for you. So I think it's super important to get onto this. And it's not easy. Like, I think it's like you're not going to be able to do that straight away. I've been using it since 2022.
Yeah.
What's that, 3 years almost? And I'm okay at some things, but I can't always get it to do what I want.
Yeah.
I don't really think I'm an expert.
Can you give us an example? What do you mean you can't get us to do what I want?
Oh,
I can't even say that.
So we're talking
Yes.
just for people listening at home as well. We'll get into image making AI, but we're really talking about using
LLMs, general. Yeah.
like ChatGPT, things that you can access for your business to help you function better in the admin sense or more almost.
Yeah, that's right. So, I think the team of people is a good analogy.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what it is. I mean, something like my voice, like if I wanted to write an artist statement or something like that, it still sounds a bit kind of AI-y, if you know what I mean. I haven't quite got my voice into what it produces.
Your tone of voice.
Yeah.
Yep.
But other people can and do it, so it's possible. I just have to learn more. But this is what I'm saying. It's like, I reckon it takes 2 to 3 years to learn this stuff. I mean, I could probably get you up to speed in 6 months, but to be an expert, and I think that's what you need to be if you're a practicing photographer. It'll take some time. I worry like a 2-year degree is even not long enough. So it's a bit of a learning curve.
So I guess because I have not used AI at all really, and I do feel like I'm behind the 8 ball very much already, and I really should. But for people like me who are a bit intimidated by it or scared by it, what do you think of what are the 2 or 3 things that you think that would just really help streamline your kind of workflow, work ethic, not ethic, but business kind of model? What are the few things that you should...
Well, one of the most useful things I find it for is research. So this is actually quite recent. OpenAI came out with this thing called deep research. And what you can do is you give it a prompt and you say, hey, I'm about to do this photography job. I mean, give me an example of a photography job. Maybe...
an advertising campaign for fruit and vegetables.
All right,
You hungry, doll?
I think I might need some vitamin C.
That's a tough sell.
I was going to say that.
I'm going to give another one. That's shit. Obviously, lunchtime.
Terrible.
I am going to say that I want to go and shoot Iceland.
All right. Okay, great. So what you would do...
With a bottle of vodka.
Better, Sally.
No, better.
I could do the fruit and veggie thing. But, all right, Iceland. So what you would do, you would turn on deep research and you would say, I'm doing a photography shoot in Iceland. Just say it's for the tourism board or something like that. What do I need to know? Can you go out and research what other photographers have done, what works, what doesn't? What gear do I need? What clothes do I need? Who should I talk to? What's my budget? How do I make this successful? How do I keep motivated? Okay, that's a prompt. it goes off for like maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, and it comes back with this amazing report that I reckon it's probably better than what a person could do, honestly, especially in a couple of hours. And it will just go through everything that you need to do to make this job successful.
Wow.
Yeah, so I find that really great.
And that's just all, excuse my ignorance, through ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean...
Deep research.
Yeah, there's quite a few
Okay.
of them, these models. Google's got one and Anthropic. But I'm kind of fairly embedded in OpenAI just because I don't want to learn, I've only got so much time to learn more.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's part of that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also just general day-to-day stuff, especially if you've got like people working for you, just communication, things like that. Well, that takes time.
Yeah.
Marketing's quite great. So it can run a campaign for you to promote your business. I use a lot, and this is a little bit nerdy, but it's got this advanced voice feature. So I'll drive to work and I'll just chat.
Okay.
Actually, one of our colleagues, I won't name them, but one of our colleagues said, at the end of last year, they were like, I was talking to Nick about using ChatGPT as a, therapist.
To have a friend.
Oh.
And they went off for an hour walk and had a therapy session, and they came back the next day and they were like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
It's one of the big new areas of AI, yeah. And the voice
gosh.
just makes it really personal.
So we've all been talking about the arts suffering possibly by AI, but really it's also psychologists and
I look at it the other way.
enhancing it.
Psychologists are expensive and they take up
Yes.
time. So now this is available to everybody. Yeah. I mean, think about
And
it.
what one's that? I think we all need to know that one. What's that one called?
Oh, that's just ChatGPT as well. Yeah.
ChatGPT. So
Yeah.
what would you ask it?
Well, quite often have you been to,
I'm
have you been to a
fascinated by this.
therapist?
Because I've used it a
okay.
few times. I'll tell you what I've used it for, because I put out a newsletter every month
Yeah.
about everything that's going on and who I've interviewed and what I've done and blah, blah, blah. And then the girl that works for me says, what's the subject line? And I go, oh, fuck, I don't know. And then I'll put it into ChatGPT and I'll go, I've done this, I've done that. And it'll come up with this, give me 10 versions. And no, I don't like them. Give me another 3. And it's like, oh, I quite like that one. And I've done that and it's been really helpful.
Yeah, that's great.
What are people going to resonate with? But that's about as much as I've done.
Yeah, no offence, but that's like noob.
Yes, I'm not
ChatGPT.
offended. I'm just sharing.
That's like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Shut up. I'm just getting there. Harriet hasn't even done it yet. So
I haven't even done that.
I'm ahead of her.
So,
Yeah, no, the therapy stuff's great. What you would do is give it some information about yourself and what you're going through and what your problem is. And quite often with photographers, I think it's motivation, they can't be bothered.
Does it come back and go, call Sally Brownbill?
Yes, it should.
Yes.
It does.
Right. Fantastic.
okay.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Does that mean the ChatGPT overlords, when they take over the world, are going to have all this personal information about us?
Yeah, probably.
That they suddenly know our deepest desires and darker secrets.
Yeah. No, I think that's a concern. I mean, it's banned from a lot of
God.
workplaces because of privacy.
Yeah.
It doesn't worry me. I mean, I don't know. I think
They know it knows the internet
Yeah.
knows everything anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've got to weigh that up with how useful it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you think it's really useful.
So you have
yeah.
a chat to it in the morning on the way to work?
I just ask dumb questions
Yeah.
what happened during the Industrial Revolution? And then I'll go into it.
Why have I got
conversation.
curly hair?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
I've got a house that I sort of live half at, and it's 3 hours away. So that is the 3 hours of me just going to have fun now.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah,
look
you're
out.
gonna love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm quite excited. I might need a lesson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good to give it some info beforehand. You can upload PDFs and all that sort of stuff,
wow.
so it just knows about you.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you just say research Harriet Tarbuck on the internet
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then tell me about myself?
Yeah. Totally can. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
no.
Maybe I'm going to get into
We're
that.
gonna do that
Oh my
for the
God, I'm
next
gonna be,
season.
Yeah. Maybe we should do
what should we do for the next season?
Have ChatGPT as a guest.
It could be a guest. Yeah.
Oh, Shaquille, did you hear that? You just got to work out how that'll happen.
Okay. All right.
Good Lord.
Wow. Okay, amazing. So, okay, that's incredible. And I think, it's so interesting, isn't it? Just all these things that you just don't even think of that are available to us now.
So these are
Yeah.
things we're talking about verbal things and administrative things. What about within the art world and AI and the commercial
Yeah.
photography world.
Well, just moving to imagery, I guess, a little bit. Yeah.
So there's the broader sort of LLMs, which I was talking about, but there's a lot of
Hang on, LLM.
large language models. That's
Thank
like ChatGPT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That also makes
Noob, remember?
Yeah,
Noob.
no. That also makes
Rude.
images as well, but there's other companies like Midjourney, which I really like, that makes images. Yeah. So I love doing that. It's just so experimental. So I love being experimental with image making, and you can just sort of sit there with my iPad and just try stuff out.
Play.
And it uses language, and I can just sort of type something out, and it just comes up with some images, and then I can experiment and try them again and again and again. Yeah.
So with the image that you did of Harry and I, what did you type in? Do we want to know?
I'll never tell.
Yay! Righto.
No, you have to describe, I do a few portraits, you have to describe people, what they look like, and then basically some sort of context and subtext. So I think I said things like, two happy women, I just sort of described the way you looked, and then I wanted some things to connect you to community and other photographers. It's kind of what you do. And I sort of saw there's images in the background, and it came up with maybe a couple of hundred. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I chose that one, and then I put your faces on. Yeah, that was the last thing I did.
So then
Yeah.
you just kind of put our pictures into it and say, make it look like these people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's sort of a bit hit and miss, but there you go. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. So you obviously, like everything you've said today has just been leading towards like always exploring new technologies and always like pushing the boundaries of what art is and portraiture is and photography and how to develop your skills within the industry. Is AI imagery photo? Is it photography?
No,
'Cause-
it's not. It's photography adjacent.
Yes.
It uses the same language, but it is broader than that. I think it's its own medium.
Yes.
Yeah, but it is like that construction of, like, even photojournalism, you construct an image. Like you'd turn up to a location, you'd talk to people, you'd think about the story, you'd think about symbolism, you'd place the person in the environment, you might take some photos that don't work, you try some more, some more. So that constructing of an image is very much what AI does, and you're constructing it. So you're thinking about narrative and story, or I am anyway, other people are doing other things. You build it. So it's kind of like photography in that way.
So everything that you're doing within AI and image making, is for good and not for evil. Have you seen any work out there that has been inappropriately or inappropriate use of AI imagery? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
can't
like
get my
deep
words
fakes
out.
and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So
there's tons, yeah.
So name one that you sort of looked at and went, what? What are they doing?
Well, there's some big ones, like there was the hurricane in southern United States. Maybe it was Katrina. I'm not too sure. But anyway, there was a photo of this little girl drowning. I don't know if you remember that. And it caused a big, outrage in the States.
Yep.
And it was an AI image. Came out later. So things like that, for sure. There was the Pope in the big white puffy
puffer jacket.
There's tons. I think social media is just full of them.
Yep.
Yeah. And like, the ones that cause problems are the ones that are kind of emotive and political, and people sort of tap into them, and it causes sort of outrage, and that just fuels, a lot of social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's as big a problem as people say, though, because all it takes is just a little bit of media literacy, and that problem would be solved. Honestly, like, if you're after truth and news photography, you should be looking at The Guardian or the Washington Post or the New York Times or The Age. Like, they're not publishing AI images. So, I know people don't do that, but that would solve a lot of the problems. And if you saw an image on social media that you don't think is real, well, then just reverse Google search it, and you'll soon see the where it came from and where it was first published, and you'd very quickly see that it was AI. So, if people, but the problem is I don't think people actually want the truth in a lot of ways. They like feeling outraged. So
In our last season, we were talking to Danny Sprague at The Age, picture editor. And there was an image that she had posted that day of a surfer. And I said, was that real? And she goes, yeah, it was real. But the fact that I thought that she said everybody thinks it was generated, but it wasn't. It was a real image.
But I guess that's sort of similar to when all that composite imagery started becoming big as well, and everyone was like, "Oh, is that real?" You know. And I think real photography still has its place. And yeah, it's like you say, it's just about having this conversation and that kind of media literacy. Yeah.
Yeah, and trusted institutions. I think they'll play a bigger role in the future. So
That's interesting. That's a really good point.
yeah, so they curate photography, and that's where we should be looking for real photography.
Yeah.
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 So, Nick, we're coming to the end. Can you believe that? I know.
God,
Shaquille's
that was
over there waving his
so
hands.
quick. Yeah.
And we've talked so much about a lot of subjects we've touched on. And one of the questions we've asked everybody in this season is what is the future of photography for you and the future of photography in general?
Yeah, I think it's lost some cultural influence over the years. I think video has taken over a little bit, but I think it'll find its niche. I think it'll survive. I kind of think of it, I think there's sort of three major categories of photography. Like there's the real world photography. You think of real people, real places, real events. Ansel Adams, Yosemite Ranges. You can actually go there and see those mountains. There's a real place. Or,
Hernandez.
or like Zelensky, first day of the war. Hey, you know, I need ammunition, not a ride. Like I get emotional from that photo. It's amazing. And if that was an AI image, I wouldn't care about it. So that sort of imagery, I think, will thrive, survive. I think that's great. I think that's even going to be more important in the future. Through the trusted institutions. The second category, I think, is constructed photography. Think of like a lot of marketing, a lot of advertising, Gregory Crewston, Jeff Wall, those sort of artists. You know, they have an idea and they construct it. I think that sort of photography will be AI. But don't panic. I think that's actually a great opportunity for photographers. There's a lot of untapped potential in that sort of work. I mean, like, think of that portrait I made of you guys. Like, Harriet, you're wearing some Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a interesting like, what would you charge for that? What? I mean, I know you didn't.
You're wanting us to pay you?
No, but if that was a real photograph,
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Oh, well, if she's wearing that outfit and all of that, you know, it'd be several $1,000s.
There you go. So people aren't...
Because it'd be a whole set. It'd be a whole deal.
Yeah, and a day of your life as well. So I'm assuming you're not prepared to pay that, right? So there's an opportunity here for this sort of photography to be made by... I think people who know photography and have got the photography education to make these images. Yeah, I think this is where the most potential is for photographers and using AI. And then the third category is like, I call it synthetic photography, where it's like 3D renders and things like that, a lot of products, architecture, cars, and I think that's just going to be AI as well. Yeah, that's my take on the future of photography. I don't know if you want to take that as optimistic or not, but I think that's what's
I find it really fascinating.
Yeah, I find it fascinating too.
You really, my head blows off my body every time I talk to you because you're just sort of so out there.
Yeah.
And what about you? What do you want? No, you can. You go.
I just want to ask one, like, what is your next prediction for the next thing in the next 5 years? Like you say, you kind of like predicted,
Good
over the
question,
years,
Dal.
what might come next. What do you think? Where
are we at?
What's the next technology? Do you have a vision?
Well, a couple of things. I think...
Cameras in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, the glasses are coming, I think.
Jeez.
But no, I think what I was saying before about just AI becoming part of people's lives and their personal lives and their business lives, I think that's definitely going to become mainstream. I think still photography has not reached its potential.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's kind of what photography is about, that frozen moment. I think we have the technology, we have screens to sort of really lean into that stillness.
Yeah.
I don't know what form that takes, but maybe you can sort of dive in and explore the world and look at it sort of slowly as you would a photograph, but you're immersed in it.
Wow.
I think about that in terms of photography. And then I guess virtual reality, the glasses that we'll be walking around with and having overlays and things like that.
Wow.
Oh, God. I
It's so
don't know that I
interesting.
could sit across from you now with
But we
those
could be
glasses,
sitting
taking
here and
photos of each other.
you could be on like the beach. We could be sitting on a beach in this
okay.
room, you
All
know.
right. Okay,
and
I
doing the
get that.
podcast from a beach or
Nice.
something like that,
We'll
right?
be working on that. And what about you, Nick? You know, you sort of just move through everything and wow, what am I going to do next? What are you going to do next?
Well, I've just written a new course at PSC. It's a Bachelor of Screen Media, and so that starts this year.
Yeah.
So sort of expanding the idea of photography and what it is. And yeah, I'm excited for that.
How lucky are they to have you? And you, Harry. But they really are. You know, you're a real... You're just a one-off, I think. You know, you're really an interesting person and incredibly articulate about the work that you do as well, which is great.
Thanks, Sally.
Thank you so much for coming in and
Thank
talking
you,
to us
yeah.
today. It's been a real
So
eye-opener.
interesting. Yeah, just so different.
And Nick, for anyone that's listening, where can they see your work? Do you have a website or Instagram
I do.
handle?
I do. Yep. Just Way We Roll at Way We Roll.
At Way We Roll.
Oh, yeah,
it's
it's
really hard to say, isn't
Sorry,
it?
I know.
I can't even do it.
What, Way We Roll?
Oh, we'll say it 5 times. Way We Roll. Yeah,
That's
okay.
it. Instagram.
I can't say it anymore. Okay, well, that's great. So check
yeah.
out Nick's work. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And are Harry and I on there? Our image?
Not yet, but
Okay.
I'll post that tonight.
Yeah.
We'll put it up when we like everyone listening now will have seen it up on our Instagram as well. By this point.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been great.
Thanks
If
so
we're still
much,
going in
Nick.
5 years, we'll get you back.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
our funny glasses on.
Yeah, with our glasses or sitting on the beach.
Well, thanks, Harry Dallin. On that note,
Yeah.
Harry, that's it, baby. That's our 12th episode.
Season 2 done.
Done. Harriet, it's
See
been
you
a
next
blast.
time.
Bye.
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 Wow, wasn't it another fantastic episode?
So much fun.
And Harry, none of this is possible without the fantastic help we've had from, take it away.
Shaquille Raymond, what a rock star audio engineer.
I like that. Martin Stevens, my husband, for his guitar prowess on the intros and outros. And Shani Power, who is doing all of the behind-the-scenes photos and design of everything to do with the Instagram posts. Thank you all so very much to help us get our podcast out.
We'll see you on the next one.
We will. It's been wonderful, Harry. Thanks, darling. Bye-bye.
Bye.